Twinkle, twinkle, little star,
He's alive!
Welcome to Where the Weird Ones Are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles or they're lizards or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, now you do. Today's episode is with Oscar. He is the host of Induced Fear Podcast. It's pretty much a lot like this one, interview-based guests come on and they talk about their experiences and all that stuff, and it's really good. Oscar does a really good job, I think, and I think he's a pretty dope dude, man. I like him a lot. Very friendly. So if you're in the need of a new podcast, definitely go check him out. I mean, if you're not in the need of a new podcast, you should still go check him out just to show him some love. That being said, I have a website, www.wheretheweirdonесarepodcast.com. You can get to the merch store on there. There's a blog, there's a chat room, but you have to become a Patreon member for the chat room. So if you become a Patreon member, you get the password to the chat room. You get a free coffee mug, and you get extra content, early access to each episode. So the bonus content will be a segment called Story Time, where I basically just tell you a story, like I tell you a true crime or ghost story, like just story based. I'm not just like laying out the facts of like a true crime or a murder mystery or whatever. I'm gonna tell it in like a story kind of way. What else? Encounter Quest is coming up fast. So if you guys have not gotten your tickets, go do so at encounterquest.com. I think that's what it is. Pretty sure that's where I went and got my ticket, my vendor ticket, but I'll be vending. So if you're in the Hamlet, North Carolina area and you are looking for a convention or, something to attend, this is a good one. It was phenomenal last year. Yes, last year was its first. This year is going to be dope too. Ron Moorhead is going to be a special guest, which is amazing because last year I didn't know who he was. This year I do, so now I'm excited. But yeah, the cryptid stuff is I've been learning a lot about. So Wendigos are pretty much the only cryptid. Wendigo and Bigfoot were the only real cryptids that I even really knew about. Yeah, so again, I will be vending. I'll be selling hot sauce. I'll be selling t-shirts. I'll have some stickers and shit. So also, just come hang out. Listen to the speakers. Check out other people out. Come say hi if you want to. Anyway, but other than that, fucking A. Almost forgot because I'm gonna keep reminding you that I will also be at 40 and Fest in June, on June 8th, in Sanford, Maine at the Memorial Gym. So if you are also in the Maine area, please come check us out. I'll also be vending. You can either reach out to Paranormal 5 on Facebook or Instagram, or you can just go to Facebook 40 and Fest and, get your either reach out to be a vendor or get your ticket to be a spectator. So yeah, there's going to be guests there too. My buddy Phil will be one of them. So it will definitely be a good time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode with Oscar. I hope you enjoy his stories. He has a lot of interesting ones. Sleep paralysis. Especially one time, it seemed like whatever entity was causing his sleep paralysis kind of like tricked him into the paralysis. It's an interesting story. He's got haunted objects. He's had UFO encounters. So I hope you guys show him some love. Like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. If you want to, you can leave a rating and review on the website too. I have a page for that. I think it's in the contact page or something. I can't remember exact. I think it's the contact page. So yeah, a lot of good things happening. And fun fact, did you know that every crease in a chef's hat is for the amount of times that the number of ways that a chef knows how to prepare an egg. So you can prepare an egg up to 100 different ways. So the little like folds, the little creases around it, a chef that knows his shit will have 100 creases, 100 folds, and that is to signify all of the ways that he or she knows how to prepare an egg. I only know like a couple, like you got sunny side up, you got fried, which is just fully fried. I mean, sunny side up is also fried, but over easy, poached, hard boiled, soft boiled. I think that's like fucking 5. Scrambled, 6, I think, something like that. But yeah, I didn't realize there was 100 different ways to prepare an egg. So, but yeah, if you guys are interested in supporting the show, check out the Patreon. The first story time segment will be coming out soon. Yeah, it's only $5 a month. I was gonna do $1 a month, but Patreon wouldn't let me for some reason. I don't know. Maybe if I get like enough people on the Patreon, I can drop it to $1, because I have seen like $1 a month tiers before. But I think that's when you have enough of a following. Because I already feel weird about charging money, but it'd be nice to like be able to update this stuff if I if I have to, and get to events to meet everybody and just stuff like that. Not like I'm trying to make a living off of this, but a little bit can go a long way. Yeah. So, I have a couple of reviews. All right. I'll read them really quickly as I possibly can to bring this up. It is right here. Let's go to the fucking show, dude. Why is this one unable to play? What the fridge? No. I'm gonna have to fucking edit this, bitch. Another freaking episode that won't play on Apple. What is the deal? Why is that doing that? Why? Oh man, that bothers me so bad. All right, so this review comes from Sean from Middle Aged and Creeped Out. I was just trying to look at the camera. The ring light's over there, and the camera's down here now. I'm so used to looking at the ring light to look at the camera. But this comes from Sean from Middle Aged and Creeped Out. He says, "I'm hooked on your show, Kevin. I appreciate the cool guests and just how real you keep it. Awesome job, brother." Thanks, Sean. That means a lot to me, man. It really does. There was another one. Why can't I see all of them? Oh, all right. And then this one is from Miss Tracy from Total Conundrum Podcast. And she says, Kevin does such a great job interviewing his guests. He keeps you coming back for more. Couldn't stop listening. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate that. For those of you that don't know, I was a guest on Total Conundrum, which that episode should be coming out this week or next week. I'm not 100% sure. But both Tracy and Jeremy should be coming on. They'll be guesting on this show fairly soon. So don't miss it. But other than that, I hope you guys have a good day, have a good night, whatever time you have decided to listen to this. And let's get into it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Weird. Get weird.
What's up, everybody? I'm here with Oscar from Induced Fear. How's it going, Oscar?
It's going pretty good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, man. I always appreciate having people on who actually like give me their time, because time is the the most valuable currency, I feel like.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so I appreciate you giving me your time. So, but why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about your podcast, where they can find you, and how you got started.
Yeah, my name is Oscar. I run the show Induced Fear. I would say kind of early on investigator of the paranormal. Still doing that, and then also doing this show, interviewing people who have had their own experiences and things like that, much like what you do. You talk to people who do the same thing, other creators and all of that. So
Yeah. Where where can they find your show? Everywhere?
Yep, pretty much everywhere. Instagram is where I mainly post things. There's TikTok. I post little clips of the show on there. I have YouTube for if people want to watch the show, or if I ever upload an investigation on there. All under the same name, Induce Fear. Make it easy on everybody and myself. But yeah, I'm pretty much everywhere. The only place I don't really go on is Twitter or X, whatever.
Yeah. I'm not on that shit either.
Yeah.
I thought about doing it just because, like, Tommy told me not too long ago about how he's gotten guests through Twitter. And
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, that might be a good avenue. But, like, at the same time, I don't know, because I had Twitter years ago and I didn't understand how to work it. I mean, I made posts and stuff, but other than that, I'm like, where am I finding people, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And like, and now so I haven't done it, and I don't feel like, I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna be another because I've already built up like the Instagram and stuff like that, and I
Yeah.
feel like it'd be just another thing to try and like boost
There's
because I'm
too
trying
many
to boost.
socials.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Yeah.
trying to boost my Patreon now, and that's so far that I only got one person in my Patreon. But that's okay. That's not the end of the world. Like it's not like I don't expect people to be like, "Oh yeah, let's give this
Yeah.
guy my
Yeah.
money." Um, and then that's not even the reason why I did it. It just I was like, oh, people like, well, my buddy Shane from Inquiries of Reality. I was just telling you about his show before we started recording, and he's like, dude, he's like, the people that want to support you are gonna be Patreon members. You like the
Yeah.
people that actually like you and like your show, and you know they're gonna want to support you. So he's like, just do it, and then whatever you get is what you get. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. So it took me a while just because I was fighting like the urge within myself to like charge people to listen to me talk.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I finally did it, and so far I posted tomorrow's episode early, and I posted an audio file of the first chapter of a book that I'm writing. So
Okay.
that's
Dope.
all that's on there
Yeah. I was
at
just
this
gonna ask
moment in time.
what your content would be on
Yeah,
there.
so
So.
yeah, so I'll post this show, the regular show, early. I think I'm gonna put my Conspiracy Tuesdays on there because eventually YouTube's gonna start kicking those episodes, especially
Yeah.
certain topics, you know what I mean? So far they
Yeah. For
haven't
sure.
yet, but like I feel like that like they've already kicked one of my episodes off, and it wasn't even like a conspiracy episode either. We were just talking about chakras and crystals, and she brought up vaccines, and then they were like, "Fuck this shit."
Yeah.
And,
Okay. And how far into the
and
show was that?
the episode 40. So for episode 40 is on Rumble instead of YouTube.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and then TikTok tried to ban one of my videos that I was talking about, leave the world behind, and it said, um, what the fuck did it say? Because I ended up appealing it, and I won. Um, and I think I can't remember. It said false information or something like that, and I was like, first of all, in my letter back I said, this isn't a video that is meant to be factual. It's meant to be thought provoking and
Yeah.
opinionated, you know. And the only factual thing that I said in it was, well, actually there was two factual things. That ship in the beginning with the that says White Lion, that oil tanker, I don't know, have you seen it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so it says White Lion on it, and I just said, I don't know if you know history or not, but White Lion is actually the first ship that brought over Af African slaves. And then the fact that the director consulted with the Obamas a lot of like
Yeah.
about certain topics in the movie. Those are the only two like actual factual things that I said, and then I played a clip from Jillian Stone's TikTok about the red letter, and she had it translated through AI, and then somebody else had it translated through Google, and they both came up with different things, and it was pretty interesting. But they
Yeah, they'll
tried to
get they'll get you for like anything. I remember they tried to take one of my videos down for sleep paralysis. I was telling a sleep paralysis video, like a experience, and they were like, "This sleep paralysis is not a real like thing," or
what?
something like that. Yeah, that happened on Reddit too. Reddit of all places. Reddit of
That's
all
weird on
places.
Reddit.
Yeah, I did a post of asking people what their sleep paralysis experience was.
Yeah.
Uh, one person said, "You're not really seeing anything. It's just your mind." And I was like, "Well, yeah." I was like, "That could be something."
Yeah.
And then people started going back and forth, and it said, "Your topic is too controversial. We removed it off of the platform." And I was like, "What?" of all places, Reddit. You're gonna tell me on Reddit it was too controversial?
Oh my goodness gracious. That's hilarious.
It was so weird.
The hills that these platforms want to die on, it's interesting. Um but I was gonna frickin' I don't know how I ended up on this tangent, but I was gonna ask you something and then I led into this for whatever reason. Um But yeah, anyways, everybody listening, you should go check out Oscar's show. I haven't listened to it yet, but I am going to, and I've been meaning to. But I think you should too. So him and I were on Let's Get Freaky with Tommy,
Yeah.
and that's where we met. And he seems like a genuine and nice guy, and I like
Oh,
talking
it's
to
all a
him on
front.
there.
It's all a front.
It's
I'm
all a
not.
friend. It's a good front, man. It's a good
Yeah.
front. I gotta say, you do it. You play the character well. Um, but he seems like a fantastic person, and you should just go show him some love. Like, why not? So, but with that, what like made you want to start your podcast?
Well, at first it started off as the idea for a YouTube like channel
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. Just one of the regular top 10 scariest videos just because I was always interested in the paranormal. Um my godfather would always tell scary stories. Ghost stories from different areas that we were driving past. He's like, "Oh, this area that we're driving past here, um, there's a ghost there, and let me tell you this story." And that's all it would be, is just these stories he would share all the time. Um, One of the women that he was married to at the time was really into the paranormal, and she would tell like, those light as a feather, stiff as a board type things,
Yeah.
and say where those things came from and try to do those or talk to ghosts or whatever. They would talk about ghosts that they would see inside of their house, and it would always be like scary, but like I was like, I want to see it. I want to see this ghost. Um, so as that went on, the channel, creating a channel progressed into, oh, I can just do a podcast. Everybody's doing a damn podcast nowadays. So
Everybody.
we decided to do that. It was me, a friend, and my brother. And then it progressed into doing interviews. My brother still comes on the show and we'll talk about cases every now and then. But most of the time it's been interviews now. So it's evolved from its beginnings to almost being a YouTube channel with top 10 scariest videos to interviewing people with their experiences and meeting people like you from doing this. So it's been dope.
Yes, I would agree with that sentiment. Like, I'm happy that I was able to, share space with you already, and now we're here doing it again. And just there's so many nice, genuine people in this field, man. Like everybody that I've had on, everybody that I've talked to in this field, everybody that I will like basically just ask a question, like something that I think is thought provoking and that I'm not sure of, but I have several different theories on. Just everybody's so willing to talk about, all this stuff, and they're
Oh,
so
yeah.
friendly and they want to help you succeed, which is the dopest thing in the
Yeah.
world, I
Nobody's
think.
trying to like take any other person down
Yeah,
or anything like that. Like
exactly.
everybody's really there to like shout each other out, um, create videos that podcast fight that we were both a part of along with
Yep.
Tommy and other creators. Um, there's things like that and just roundtables, further discussing things. The episode that we were on Let's Get Freaky, just discussing things, sharing stories. It all creates that kind of environment to help build each other up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I am so happy to be a part of it, man. I really
Hell
am.
yeah.
In a perfectly normal house, on a perfectly normal street, a perfectly normal group of friends meet to play a perfectly normal tabletop role-playing game.
Cart. Travelling by cart is quite expensive these days.
Well, we still have the money.
Exploring the perils and threats of a fantasy world rocked by an apocalyptic war.
Known only as the Harbinger, raised a great army of evil and began a campaign of destruction across the world of Tor.
But what will
He's the guy we're getting the grimoire for.
Leah,
Well, yeah, they're the ones who gave us the quest.
Matt,
Right, so now that's done. You guys want to head to the pub?
Gina,
Wait, what? What about the treasure?
and Rosie
Oh, the one who told us about the tower.
don't realise is there is much more to this game than they know. The tragic history and secrets of Tor will be laid bare as Lathar the Elven Warrior,
I want it clear that I'm not happy about this.
Yayla the Fey Ranger,
Now they just roam around looking for victims. They loot settlements, kill everyone they come across.
Balink the Goblin Rogue,
Can't I just blast our way in? Can't I?
Aeolin the Scholarly Orc,
It's incredible. The layout is reminiscent of the hedonistic churches of the ancient empire.
and Virith the Ashlander Mage.
From the way that Leonard was acting, it seems like this grimoire is something dangerous.
Attempt to survive the world left behind by the War of Destruction. From the volcanic wastes of the Ashen Plains to the frozen north of Wisecrag, much will be revealed in their journey on their quest of ruin. A fortnightly dark fantasy podcast available now.
So if you can remember, what is your earliest memory of encounters?
My earliest memory would probably be the one thing and it's probably the thing I talk about the most, would be sleep paralysis, which is why it's such an interesting topic for me. I remember when it first started. I remember my dad passed away when I was really young, and I remember just in those moments you're kind of like asking anything, like let me just see them one more time, talk to them one more time, the whole spiel you go through while grieving. And I just remember putting that call out into the universe. Like I was like, anything, I don't care if it's God, whatever. And then I started having these sleep paralysis episodes. So it's almost like I opened the door for whatever to come in. And the first time me and my brother shared a room, I was probably 10 or 8 years old, maybe around that time. And I was sleeping, and immediately, you know how you feel when somebody's just right there in front of your face? You can kind of feel when somebody's there. Yeah. I had that feeling, and I opened my eyes, and there was a shadow darker than the rest of the room, just right there in front of my face. And when I tried to move, I couldn't move. When I tried to call out to my brother, who was just right next to me in the other bed, I couldn't talk. It was just like gasping for air. And then at that point, I realized I can't really breathe. It felt like if somebody was like pressing down on my chest. And then I kept trying to move. I kept shaking around, and then I just shot up from the bed, looked around. There was nothing in the room. My brother was passed out asleep, and I just turned our little box TV on with static on it, and probably sat there for an hour with the static on, just so there was light in the room, because I was just terrified. And then it happened more and more throughout the years.
Oh shit! The paralysis or the figure?
Yeah,
or
both of them. Both. Okay. Yeah. To a point where I started to get a feeling of a presence before the sleep paralysis would happen. So I would get the feeling of something is in the room, and then I would know. I would that fear would set in because I know this is going to start. I know the paralysis is going to set in and I'm not going to be able to do anything about it.
Ugh, that's
Yeah.
a terrible feeling.
And it wouldn't just happen within my home. It would be even if I stayed at like my aunt's house and I stayed the night there. I remember it happening one time there. Just anywhere that I would fall asleep. And it wouldn't happen like every night. It would probably be a couple months and then nothing. And then next year it would happen. And then it was just yearly, probably just yearly, this one time thing that would occur as I grew up until like just 3 years ago, probably.
So 3 years ago was the last time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you feel like that was your dad? Is that what you're thinking, or
no? When it first happened, no. When I first saw it, I thought maybe,
yeah.
But then it was immediately scary, and I couldn't move, and it felt like it was pressing down on me,
like the old hag thing that they talk about. Yeah.
So that's what made me immediately think, no, it's not. It's not my dad. Like we had other things happen that my mom attributed to my dad, which would be toys without batteries going off. We would find a random penny in the middle of a room every now and then. And that's probably it when it came to like things that my mom would say, oh, that's your dad, giving you a sign that he's around.
Yeah. Is there something to like a random penny?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, is there like stories with like pennies or something? Because
I probably should have looked that up, but I always just took it as my mom just trying to like comfort us in those moments.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
or maybe she had some inside knowledge.
Yeah,
on the paranormal.
She not telling me something.
Yeah, they like copper. Well, actually, that is true. They do like copper. Actually, now that I think of it. Like that's what dowsing rods are made out of, is copper.
Yeah, I have those, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, when did you start investigating? Like
when the internet was like a thing that we could all use.
What do you mean? What are you trying to say? What has the internet changed to?
Well, I mean, like when it was dial up and everybody, like every once in a while, somebody had internet.
Yeah.
I would look up things like, what does this mean? What is this? Do ghosts do this? Do ghosts do that?
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing. I think there was nothing on sleep paralysis or the Hat Man during those times. So I would just like say, I don't want you around, because I grew up in a Mexican household, so there was mainly like anything that is kind of ghostly is like the devil. Don't talk to it. It's probably the devil. They're always scared of it. So my mom would just say, "We'll just say in Jesus' name, go away." Like in Jesus' name, go away. So I would just say that, just go away, leave me alone. I don't want you here. I don't want you messing with me. But then there were moments where it happened so often that I would just not turn and face it, because it happened the moment I would look at whatever the shadow thing was. The moment my eyes made contact with it is the moment I would go into the paralysis state.
Mm.
So when I felt the presence in the room, I would just say, no, not today. This isn't happening. We're not doing it. I just want to sleep. Leave me alone. And then sometimes it would happen. The creepier things would be hearing whispers or something when I was stuck.
That is creepy.
But it was always a really fast whisper. Like I could never make out what it was saying. It was just really, really like if somebody was talking really fast. And then eventually it got to a point where I was like, I don't even want to deal with it anymore. I've gotten used to it so much. Just leave me alone. Like I don't want to deal with you. Please just let me sleep. And Yeah, after that I would do things like, what is your name? And I would leave like a recorder in my room. Um, I would leave recorders in my room and then say, if you're stuck in my room or if you're just following me and you can only stay in the room, say something into a recorder, I'm going to leave. I would also leave, I don't know why this meant anything, but I would also leave paper on the ground just to see if anything would like pick up something stepping on paper.
Yeah.
Which I ended up catching something stepping on, like the paper crinkling one time.
Oh, no shit.
And then also, I remember going through a list of like, I don't remember what it was, what type of names they were. I don't remember what I looked up, but I was just asking, is this your name? Is this your name? Is this your name? And then eventually it would, one of the names, it was one in the A's, one of the A names was just this weird whisper that popped up when I said that name. So I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's this person. I don't know. Maybe I'm just further opening the door for more things to come in as I'm just asking random questions and asking specific names. After that, it just became irritating, so I just left it alone. I didn't want to deal with it anymore.
Gotcha. I gotcha. So what made you get the dowsing rods that you have?
Oh, those were for doing regular investigations out here in Colorado.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, I would mainly just use the recorder on the phone. Yeah. I did get an old spirit box back in the day.
Ooh, I like spirit boxes. I feel like those work really well, actually, to be honest with you. In my
No, I
experience, I've
really,
only investigated twice, and both times I've used the spirit box, and just there's a lot of stuff that actually comes through that wouldn't make sense for it to be a radio, like the actual radio station, in my
especially
opinion.
when it's changing so fast and you get something that is like multiple syllables that really will tell you like, oh, this is the same voice talking for what has already been probably 6 radio stations. There's no way it's the same radio station.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the sentences, yeah, for sure. Especially like when it's like 3 or 4 words, and obviously it's constantly changing
Yeah.
anyway. So like to get especially or like the long words, or like when they're like leave, and I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
it just went through like 5 stations and it says leave.
Yeah, I'll take it. I believe it when it hits anything 2 syllable. I was like, there's no radio. There's no way it's gonna be the same radio station. Like it was 2 syllables.
Mhm.
Like a hey, hi, like those I can brush off as like it's just the radio. Maybe my brain is like picking it out as a hello or an answer to the question.
Yeah.
But anything
Yeah.
2 syllables, yeah. I never got
Yeah.
anything when I did it back then. I never got anything with a spirit box.
Oh no.
It was only in recent investigations that I did. But yeah, then the last time sleep paralysis happened was probably 3 years ago. It was our first apartment, me and my fiance. It was here in Colorado. We had little things happen in that place, like the cat's toys would roll across the room by themselves, and it was around the time when I first started doing the podcast. And one time I was just chilling on the couch. I think I told part of this story on Tommy's show with you there, but I was just chilling on the couch waiting to fall asleep. My fiance was ready to sleep in our room, and I hear her walk out of the room, go into the hallway. I ask if she's okay. She immediately turns back around, and as she's turning back around, I'm getting up to make sure she's okay. She closes the door in my face. I open it right after her, and she's knocked out. Like I didn't hear her get in bed, nothing like that. And then I went and laid back down. Started to lay back down on the couch, looking at my phone again. because why not watch TV and look at your phone at the same time? Um, and then I heard footsteps just kind of stomping towards me. And when I looked up, it was the shadow figure, and I was in sleep paralysis. And that was like the last time that it happened. Like it had to get one last go in because
I
I
had
was
to be
so,
sneaky about it.
yeah, like sneaky, but change its tactics up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember talking about this on Tommy's show, that we were both on. Dude, that's crazy. That it was like fucking with you, like getting your senses heightened, and then waited for you to relax again, and then it was like, hey man, look at me,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. Because I was like, oh, it had to trick me just to do it because I was so irritated, dealing with it for like 20 some years that I was just
Yeah.
like, nah, I'll change up my tactics. And I didn't tell her immediately. I think I told her like after we moved to the new place. I was like, yeah, this happened in the other place.
Oh, no. And now you got something going on in the place you're living in where people like the room, your guest bedroom, where people think
The
that
one
you're
when I'm
getting in bed
recording
with
in,
them.
yeah. Yeah,
That's
so that one's really weird. I don't understand that one at all. We had a couple of friends stay the first night. They had a dream of me getting into the bed between them or something. They just for some reason they had me walking in and just climbing into the bed. And then recently when her brother his first day sleeping there, he had the same thing. Me crawling in the bed next to him and he was like, "Hey man, what's up?" And then that was it. Which is so bizarre.
it
Like
is bizarre.
why is my doppelganger just trying to hop in bed with a bunch of random people?
That's I don't know. I don't know any, like, I can't even like speculate the reasoning behind that, but it's it's hilarious. If I went to if I stayed the night at my sister's house and I saw her boyfriend getting like climb into bed. First of all, I would have yelled. I would have been like, "Get the fuck out of here, you
Yeah.
fucking weirdo!" Like, did so? Did they just let what they thought was you just lay there and
They
like
were
not
just like, "Are
acknowledge
you
it?
okay? Like what's going on?" And then I think they would just wake up or something or like because it's always when they're like half asleep,
Okay.
like it kind of wakes them up in a sleep.
And they kind of
And then
like
I'm not
realize
there.
that, like open their eyes or like sit up or something like that, and to look at you again or something, and you're not there.
Yeah, each one of them had said, I had a weird dream that you crawled into bed next to me. Like, this is the same thing.
Oh
It's
man,
just,
that cracks me up.
yeah, bizarre as all hell. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to put to that other than, well, Zoe gave the speculation that because you're in there recording, like it's just
yeah.
residual energy of you. So,
Yeah, and
which
I likes
I
to
mean
sleep.
could
So,
be, could not be, who knows?
yeah, I'll have to have more people stay over and then, like, see if they
Yeah,
have,
I would test that theory for
yeah.
sure. Yeah, I would do that.
Like, you gotta, I think I told one of my friends, um, uh, who's been in an investigation with us before, but he's a photographer out here and I told him just come over and just stay in the room, like just sleep in the room. If you have a dream of me crawling in the bed, then we know it's something. If we get 3 in a row, like it has to be something. I don't know what it would be, but it has to be.
For sure. Exactly. I wouldn't. What would it be if it isn't that? If it isn't the residuals of you? Like what do you think could it be?
Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, like we have a few haunted objects here, and
Oh
I'll
yeah,
say
that's right.
haunted. I say haunted as in like
Yeah.
only a few things have caused anything. Um, so I don't know. I have 2 of them in here with me. One is above me, and one is right next to me here. And then another one is just locked in a case. But I don't know if it's those things. If I just, because I have these ones around me, they just use my image for anything, because one of them is supposed to watch you sleep. That was the story that was told to me. And it's a doll, a porcelain doll. Plays music, the whole nine. Another one is a creepy art piece, and I'll show it here so you can see. But it's this.
That is creepy.
Art piece here. It's one of the few things that actually made my EMF meter go off randomly.
Oh no, sure.
I had those little cat toys sitting next to it, and they lit up without me like touching them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Next to it, the doll every once in a while plays music, but doesn't really do anything. Doesn't move.
Okay. So you have two things in that room that traumatized me when I was a child. So
This thing.
yeah, the clown and now the doll. I didn't know you had. I think I may have. You might have said it was a doll, but I know you said. I remember you saying that you had haunted objects. I just can't remember if you said it was a doll specifically or not. When
Yeah, that one was sent to me by a photographer. They bought it just for pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Said it started to like play music by itself. Would look at them while they were sleeping. They ended up having weird dreams, so they just wanted to get rid of it.
Hmm.
And I kind of the only reason I believed it was because like they didn't want money; they just wanted it to be gone.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of
So
like what the frick is it called? There was a story of this antique shop that had like a Dybbuk box. I think is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they sold it, and then because you're not supposed to open it, and then the person opened it, and then the guy had to go get it back, and then he brought it downstairs and opened it. You'd be like, "What the fuck?" And then nothing happened, and then his employee, this woman, went down into the basement where the box was to where all their like extras and their storage and stuff is to get something, and then the basement door shut on her, and then she couldn't get out, and she like almost had a full blown panic attack and stuff, and then now the box is in some kind of in a glass case in a museum somewhere, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, this one was just sent, and then it came to me and it was broken. Like the hand was like wrapped separately. So as soon as I got it, I glued it together, and then there's been nothing negative. I had no weird dreams. I thought maybe, I fixed it. Maybe that solved its issue or whatever,
Maybe it likes you.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Yeah.
We did give her a name. I just don't remember it now, but we did give her a name when she first came.
Uh-oh, she might get upset about that. Doesn't remember the name he gave me.
What's funny is that I say that it's not like doesn't move and doesn't stare at you, but it's like looking right down at me from wherever it's sitting.
Oh, fuck that shit. Not for me. No bueno.
Yeah, I tell people whoever stays in this room, I was like, just know there's like a Ouija board in here. I have this weird head that is chilling here.
Holy shit, that's creepy too.
Yeah, and then I have like haunted objects in here. And then the shorty here.
And then the clown. I would be like, no, I'm gonna go home.
Yeah, just so you know,
like, hey bro,
this is what you have to be aware of.
I know you're tired. You can crash here in my spare room. Nope, I'm gonna go. I'd go sleep in your yard before I slept in there.
Yeah. Go sleep in the living room. But you can't sleep in the living room anyways because we have the other haunted object like near the living room.
Oh shit. What's the other one?
The Catholic maniple that just that they use to wipe the cup after communion and things like that.
Oh,
They hold it
okay.
over their arm, and then they just use it to wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one that we have locked. It's locked in a jar and in a case.
So what's the situation with that one?
That one, I had no experiences myself with this object. It was my fiance that had the experiences. She just, when we first brought it home, we just threw it on top of the dresser next to a pair of these devil horns that light up, but they didn't work. Like the same day we bought them, they stopped working. And 3 a.m. in the morning, the whole room just lights up red. And I was like, that's weird. These weren't working earlier. Maybe they just started working. I don't know. So I just clicked them off. But then she started to have like really bad nightmares, like progressively more and more nightmares. And then when I wasn't home, she was hearing banging and knocking or people talking. Mind you, we live in a condo. So there are people below us. There are people on the other side of the wall next to us. But she would always hear it in whatever room she wasn't in. So if she was in the living room, she would hear it all the way in the back of the place. She was in the back of the place, she would hear it like in the living room. And I would just try to tell her, like, we live in a condo. You're hearing other people probably. I don't know. I'm not there to experience it. But I know she was scared. And then one morning, she wakes up. She's crying. She's like, don't go to work. Please don't go to work. And I'm like, why? What's going on? Like, what's happening? And she's just like, please just don't go to work. It's that thing. And she's pointing to that piece that we just threw on the dresser. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I saw it. It's ugly and it's that thing. And she just keeps pointing to it. So I go, all right, I don't go to work. I get in contact with a few friends. Like, what can I do? A lot of people were saying, get rid of it, burn it, throw it away. I was like, I spent money on it. Is there any other thing I can do?
I feel like burning it would like make it worse though. No?
Yeah, I don't know. They were just like, get rid of it. Just do that. And I was like, well, I spent money. She doesn't want to, like, if I can make it stop, she'll be fine with keeping it. So, I told her to put on headphones and go in the other room. I locked myself in this room with it. Said prayers. I had holy water. Was listening to high vibrational music to kind of make sure everything feels right. As I was saying these prayers, I was just saying, you're not welcome here. You need to leave. If you don't leave, I'll get rid of you. Either way, you're going to be gone. I have both the power of spiritual, energy plus the physical energy. So I'm already on top at that point. So I'm just praying. I put it in this jar, throw holy water in it, put it in the jar, get a string, and I put holy water over the string and then tie it around the lid and then left it in the jar. And then I think we left it outside for a couple of days or maybe a week. We left it outside. And I was like, one time I was just like, all right, nothing was happening. She didn't have any of the nightmares anymore after I did that. We decided, should we bring it back inside? So we brought it inside and then nothing happened. It's just in this jar. And now we have in a corner of our like dining room, we have this area where we have old religious items, like a last rites kit that's been used. We have that there. in that area too, and then we have it in a case, locked, like closed inside of the case with the holy water sitting in front of it, and things like that. So, and I also have like obsidian that I set on top of the lid, and yeah, ever since then, nothing really happened. She does hear knocking,
like from the case.
No, just around, like in the closet.
Yeah.
She'll hear it, so I'm just thinking that could just be anything, really.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
But yeah, that was like the big thing. And I did have a moment too where when I was doing the prayers and I was keeping the headphones in, at one moment, the lights flickered above me, and it felt like the headphone was pulled from my ear. So I just didn't do anything or say anything to that. I just put it back in my ear and went on and kept going. Well, that was probably the craziest thing that's happened, like in here.
I would have ran. I'm just saying, I would have ran. But that's me, obviously not you. But
yeah. Well, I had to be the protector, I had to be the
right. Right. You had to be a man. I don't know if I could have been a man in that moment.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Be a man, fight a demon. I don't know.
Yeah. Is there like a story behind why it's haunted, or?
I have no. We bought it at an oddities convention. And they just had a lot of like religious like clothing.
Yeah.
And that thing was like, and they were all legit. Like the stitching on everything is like legit on these things. And they were like, yeah, we just get them, after like a church closes down or there was like these things or whatever. And we saw that piece. I was like, $30 is a little high for that, but she thought it was really cool, so we got it.
Yeah.
And that was it. I don't even remember the name of the people we bought it from at that convention. So
that's interesting. That's even more interesting that you can't remember. I wonder if this was like a negative thing because of what that represents, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just wasn't strong enough to like manifest enough to really, like, it was only like it gave her nightmares and.
Oh yeah, because she's scared of those things. Whenever anything happens, she is, she's just in general a high anxiety person. But but she was scared anytime a noise happened. And me, I'm just like, a noise can be anything. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm not quick to jump to say something's a ghost or something,
Yeah, I mean, neither am I, but I will say real quick though, I was just recording the other day, right? So I recorded with this couple. They have a pod. Well, they're not a couple, but they together together they make two, so they're a couple. But they're not together. But they have two podcasts together. Their name is Damien and Nicole, right? And they're talking about Hill House in Texas and how haunted it is. And when they talk about it, like the person that they're talking about it on the podcast or whatever, like they'll talk about like this whistling thing, and then all of a sudden there's like the person that they just talked to about it has whistling at their house and stuff like that, and then they got to clean their house or whatever and stuff. And like they're like, you might have to put a warning on this episode just so you know, like, it does come through. And I was just like, yeah, I'll do that. And then like I wasn't thinking anything. I was like, nothing's gonna happen. I was like, if anything, something would have already happened by now. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, there's already spirits here to begin with, like, and I've seen them and I've felt them. Specifically this room that I'm in, too, where the studio is, because it used to be my bedroom, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna move the bedroom downstairs. There's more space in that bedroom, and then I can just use this as the studio. But now it's gonna be a studio / nursery because I'm having a baby. But
oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and but anyway, so I was recording with the guys from Middle Aged and Creeped Out, right? And they had just come on, or they were about to come on, and the door was shut, and it was just me and my dog in here, and I just hear a knock. It was just a light tap, but it was loud enough to where I was like it wasn't like anything settling or anything like that. There was a clear knock on the door, like somebody was there, and it was only me and my dog was in the room on her bed right here on the other side of the desk. And I look at the door, and then I look at her. I was like, did your tail hit the wall right there, or am I hearing somebody at the door? And she didn't even acknowledge that I was talking to her. And I was like, all right, well, fuck you. And I go, come in. And nothing happened. And then I was like, I have to get up and like look to see if somebody's out there. You know what I mean? And I walk out there, and there's nobody there. But it was like, it could have been her tail, but from it sounded like it came from that way, not from like right here at my feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was just like, that was weird. And that was right after, I recorded with the people that told me, like, you listen, there's going to be things that come through, just so you know. So I'm like,
same with you, leaving that door open.
Yeah. Oh man, I should have had them do like a closing prayer or something before we ended the episode, but it's all right. I just literally generated a clip of them too talking about the whistling too, so I don't know if I should put it on Instagram or not yet.
Yeah, just send it to everybody.
But I mean, they I don't know. The clip is just talking specifically about the whistling, not like really like the whole story around it and where it was coming from. She might have mentioned the Hill House in the clip. Shit. But it's such a good clip too. Fuck. It's better than the one that I just put out of them, but it's super interesting. In my episode 11, dude, there was EVPs in between him and I talking, which was also crazy.
We're just gonna go for. Oh, we don't know. Don't know if I'm gonna need. Do I need a thumbnail for this one? I don't know. Are we ready? If you love all things dark history and paranormal, you're in the right place. Hi, What was that? Do you hear that? I'm trying to record the introduction for my brand new YouTube channel, and there are noises coming from behind me, which there shouldn't be. Like, I'm completely home alone right now. It's a B&M chair. Cheap LEDs. It's just cardboard boxes. It's a puppy! Hi! And there's also a cat. There are no ghosts. I made it all up. I know I got you with my good acting. Yeah, no, that's not what we're doing here. Because be real with me, have you ever found yourself 4 hours into a binge of a ghost hunting show with the shaking night vision camera footage and the wide-eyed ghost hunters screaming at their own shadows thinking, there is absolutely no way this is real? Yeah, me too. And if I'm being totally honest with you, I am more interested in the history of a haunted house and the origins of an urban legend and the actual lived experiences of people that have encountered paranormal activity firsthand, rather than watching a group of people filming themselves in a dark room. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some amazing ghost investigators, especially on YouTube. Like, some of the investigations that I've seen are amazing, and I do absolutely live for a Class A EVP or like a terrifying image of a shadow figure. But most of the time, the context and the history make the haunting so much more compelling for me. And if that sounds like a bit of you, then I think we've just become best friends. So you're going to want to hit that subscribe button, because every week we are going to be sitting down and swapping ghost stories like a good old sleepover, chatting about all things morbid, mysterious, and macabre. Have you got a paranormal experience that you'd like to share, or do you know of a haunted location that you'd like me to cover? Please leave me a comment or throw me a DM over on Instagram. You can find me at Don't Scare Claire. I absolutely love hearing all about your encounters with what lies beyond our realm. I cannot wait to get into all the spooky things with you, and maybe we might learn a thing or two about some history too. I know, I promise I won't be like your boring history teacher. But until next time, sleep safe. You showing everyone your butthole? Yeah. That's not stable. I would not lean on that. Okay, we're done.
And I will say another thing that's wicked nice about having like these people in these topics too. So this woman, she's a medium, and she she's gonna be a guest on the show, I think in February. And so I had asked her, and she's already like made relationships with a bunch of people that I'm close with. And she messaged me the other day, and she's like, I was listening to your podcast today while I was cleaning, and Spirit came through and told me, actually, you want to know what? I'll just freaking read it to you so that that I don't misinterpret or make it sound different than it actually sounds. Let's see. Yeah, so she said, "Hey Kevin, I was listening to your show whilst cleaning, and Spirit came through with a message for you. I apologize if this is an overstep, but I hope it helps you. I literally cannot get it out of my head, so hopefully telling you will allow me to meditate in peace. Take less creatine and increase water consumption with a smidgen of electrolytes. Right kidney is slightly irritated. From my view, technically it's your left. Consume vitamin D twice a day with animal fat. If you've had a slight twinge of pain in your lower or mid back on that side, that is why." And when I received this message, I had been, and I still am right now, having really bad lower back pain. And my kidney on my left side is smaller than my right side. So it's like it's smaller than it's supposed to be, but it still functions the same.
Yeah.
So I read that and I was like, what? That's crazy. And I have been consuming a lot of creatine with, with working out and stuff like that. And yeah, so she's just like, vitamin D, water, put some electrolytes. She's like, make sure you put a heating pad on. I was like, well, I do that anyways, but it's not, I don't know. It was so bizarre. And
to be that specific in something you were
yeah,
dealing with. Yeah.
and I was just like, what? That's crazy. And everybody that told me like she was legit, and I didn't doubt it at all in any kind of way. But when she messaged me, when she sent that message, I was like, yep, she definitely is legit. And I can't wait to talk to her on here now. And I'm looking forward to it so like really bad. But yeah, like the people you come across in this stuff. So like I just randomly came across her. Emily, the fine art medium, and her friend, that they do a podcast together. Chastity, I kept wanting to call her Luna because that's her fucking that's her Instagram name. But they're both mediums, and they gave me like things about myself too when I had them on, and it's fun. But also in saying all of this, if you want or need guests, like just let me know. I can send you any of them. I'll just tell them, about you. But one woman that I think you should definitely have on, as her name is Paranormal Paradigma, if you haven't already. Her name's Deborah.
I don't think that name is ringing a bell. I'll have to look.
Yeah, she's amazing, and she's just trying to, I think, she has a website, and she's trying to like remove the stigma of paranormal experiences from therapy.
Yeah.
From like professional therapy or whatever. So so the more I've been trying to like get a bunch of my podcast friends to have her on just to like spread her word.
Yeah. Well, there's another person that I've made friends with, and she's been on my show as well. Sydney Spooks. I don't know if you follow that page.
I don't think I do.
Sydney Spooks, Ainsley.
I
Yeah,
might
she's in
actually.
Australia.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I do. I do follow her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's also in the same boat of trying to remove that stigma.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. She has her own like therapy thing that she does as well out there. So,
Cool.
yeah.
That's
There's
dope.
good
So
people out there.
everybody listening, check out Paranormal Paradigma on Instagram, TikTok, and Sydney Spooks.
Yes.
On Instagram. I know she's on Instagram because I follow her now that I think of it. So, yeah, we're just trying to help people. And that's another thing that I do with the show too, because it like mental health, like a lot of people that, have these experiences, they don't have somebody to talk to, or they're afraid to talk to. So when they hear, somebody talking and just being like, I'm going to believe the stories that you're telling me, regardless, just because I've had my own experiences. And I'm not going to sit here and like try and tell you that you didn't experience what you experienced like a therapist would. So I feel like, it's a good thing just to talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's
I
helped
had
me too with my suicide attempts too. I used to either not want to acknowledge that it happened, or when I would even try to start bringing it up, I would just start crying and I wouldn't even be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
Now I can just like bring it up and I don't feel any emotion about it at all. Like it's just so much easier to talk about now.
Yeah, that's what's great about. I mean, just having people to talk to. I know that I had one guy on just for my latest episode, and the whole time he kept going, I know it's crazy. Like I know I sound crazy right now. Like I know this sounds crazy. And I go, hey man, I'm listening to what you're saying. Like, I don't think you're crazy. Nothing like that. Like,
yeah,
I'm just letting you talk freely here. Sometimes people just got to let those things out. And the more you talk about things, the more it becomes easier. Like what you said with yours, like the more you talked about it, the more it didn't affect you as much as you talked more and more about your attempts. Like, I'm glad that's helped you in that sense. Like for that, especially.
Thanks. Thanks. So, a question I like to ask everybody: have you ever had an experience that you don't know for sure, or you might know for sure, but you could attribute to being a cryptid?
A cryptid? I wouldn't say a cryptid.
No.
No, that's the one thing. Like even being out here, the weird thing that I've had was like seeing what I thought was like a hyena in Colorado, which is weird to see.
That is weird, but there are hyenas here in America.
Yeah,
supposedly.
Yeah, because when I looked it up, I saw that people have had sightings of like hyenas. So that would be it, but that's like not your typical cryptid. Like,
yeah, okay.
I've been to areas where Bigfoot is like has been sighted or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I've been to an area where they said that there was a dog man, but I haven't had those experiences myself in those areas.
Okay. All right. So, is there an experience that you have that you might know, but maybe you don't know, but you could attribute to being an alien or a UFO kind of situation?
Oh yeah, multiples of those. Yeah, multiples of those.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, because I lived in Arizona for a while, and then I would drive between when I moved back to California. I would drive from California to Arizona all the time. One that continues to like baffle me until this day is driving home from Arizona with my brother in the car. He was asleep. We're in the middle between California and Arizona, just the middle of the desert. I start to see a light dance around the sky, and I'm trying to figure out if it's a helicopter or not. Just because you want to kind of dismiss what you're seeing as crazy. And I try to wake up my brother, but he's like just passed out. Like I said, it's like almost midnight at this time, and we're just driving. I'm still trying to figure out this light, and I turn to him one more time, like, "Hey, dude, wake up. I need you to see this thing with me. And then as I do that, I look back forward, and this light came from the sky, went down, shot straight to my car, to the point where I had to swerve to the side. Luckily, there was no car next to me. And I moved out of the way of this thing, and I looked behind me to see, like, maybe my mind's playing tricks on me. Maybe it was just perfect timing that the light that was up in the sky went away as somebody was driving the wrong way on the freeway. But I look behind me and I don't see the light. I don't see tail lights at all or anything. And my brother wakes up from the swerve and is like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "You didn't see that? You didn't see that right now? Like, tell me you saw it, please." And he's like, no, I didn't see anything. What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't know. Somebody was driving the wrong way on the road. I have no idea what this was." And yeah, that was like the thing that still baffles me until this day, because it came from the sky, shot down straight towards the car, to the point where I felt enough fear to swerve, you know?
Oh my god! Did you hear? Do you know if it made a noise? Did you hear anything?
I didn't hear anything.
Ah, man,
It was
that's
mainly just
wild.
me going shit and turning, you know?
That's crazy. And it was just a bright light. You couldn't make
Yeah.
any like
I couldn't
solid
make anything
object
out,
around
see
it.
anything. It was just this light. And
Wow,
those are
dude.
most of the times that they were like extraterrestrial kind of experiences where it was just a light, and it was always
Okay.
dancing around in the sky. Like, one of them tried to draw me and a group of friends out into the middle of the desert, and then once we started getting further and further into the middle of the desert with nothing else around us, we all instantly felt fear, and we can't go can't go any more forward. We have to turn around now and leave. And that's what we did. Like,
Yikes.
all of us at the same time had the same exact feeling, and we all we just turned the car around and left. So,
Huh. Oh, you want to know what? There is a theory that that induction of fear could be them like telepathically or like using some kind of device to like instill the fear. That way you don't like
some would say induced fear. I don't know. Some would say that.
Yeah. Induced fear. But like to turn you away, because if you kept going, you were gonna see something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you already know that, but I just felt like saying that for the sake of saying it. But I, you know, you also don't know if something
No.
bad could have happened too. So fuck that. Anyway, I would have,
Yeah,
I
no.
would have, I would have turned and I always listen to my gut anyway. So that fear would have told me to go, and I would have gone. So
Yeah, that was one of the moments where like, when it comes to like ghosts or anything like that, I'm like, yeah, I want to see this. Like, I don't care
uh-huh.
about it. But that was one of the moments where I was like, no, my body won't even allow me to go forward. Like, no.
What was that one in Arizona as well, or in
That one was,
Colorado?
yeah, in Arizona. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's funny. My kids and I took a vacation in Arizona. We road tripped out there, and I remember when it was like 2 years ago, and I told my kids, I was like, maybe we'll see UFOs, and they're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, you never know, just look up. And we went through Texas, and we went through like this turbine field, like the windmills or whatever.
Okay,
My
yeah.
son, my son got scared, and I was like, what is wrong with you? And he's like, why are they here? And I was like, they're supposedly drawing energy, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, it ruins my view. I was like, it does, actually, it does. But
What?
it's
He didn't
supposed
like
to
all
be
the
good.
fans in the middle of the desert?
No, he didn't. He didn't like that. He's like, people have houses right next to them. I'm like, yeah, they don't own that specific spot where
Yeah.
this turbine is. And and then there's like cattle everywhere too, like all between these like the windmills and shit. That whole like road trip and being out in Arizona for a week. That whole thing was it was a lot of fun. The drive was very long, obviously coming from Maine,
Yeah.
but it was an
shit,
experience that I'm glad that I had with the kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I miss Arizona every now and then. Like I went through all of high school there, so
Yeah, we went into like a piece of Colorado.
what would be if like near Pueblo? Am I guessing? I think it's the bottom of Arizona. I mean of Colorado.
Yeah. My son was in Colorado, my daughter was in Utah, and I was in New Mexico. And
Okay. All right. Like the corners thing, right?
yeah, the four
where they all
corners, yeah.
meet. Yeah.
We came back and my son was like, I was in Colorado and I could hear Dad and Kendall from Arizona, and he tells everybody this like story. Like he's like,
Yeah.
I was in a completely different state and I could hear my dad still talking in another state. And then they're like, what? And he's like, we were at the four corners. I'm like, what the fuck?
It'd be great to have him tell that story and be that hype about it, but put like a little tinfoil hat on him to really sell.
That would be good. That would be hilarious. That would be a good like intro freaking video or something. But yeah, no, the whole time I was out there, I was like, I want to see a UFO. I hope I see a UFO. Because we also went to the west rim of the Grand Canyon, and that's almost Nevada. Yeah, it's almost Nevada. And we were out there among all these Joshua trees and stuff, and I was just like, wow, this is cool. This is a perfect spot to have an alien experience. And there was no other cars around.
Happened.
I was the only one. I mean,
the one that flew from the sky was like right near Joshua Tree.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
That's interesting too. Did you hear the confessional episode of the guy that went to like a desert party out in Joshua Tree?
I don't think so. I don't think I heard that one.
Oh man, that one was
I'll
crazy.
I'll
That
have
was
to now. Yeah.
Wild story. Yeah, you got to. It was a while ago now, but I can't remember what he named it, but it might be called Joshua Tree actually, maybe.
Okay. Oh.
But it's a freaking good episode. He meets some guy at a bar, and the guy like invites him to this after party, and they like spend like a day driving. Fucking, so they leave at night, and it's not until the next afternoon that they get to where they're going. And yeah, and it basically it sounds like there was vampires and portals, so
yeah.
And it took him 2 days to escape.
Oh shit. Yeah, I'll definitely have to listen to that one then. Sounds wild.
Yeah. It's crazy. I don't know who that guy is, but I would love for him to tell the story on my podcast. I would love to talk to him about it. You know what I mean?
Psst. Hey, you.
Yeah, you.
Are you into weird shit? Yeah?
You into cryptids?
What about hauntings? Yeah, I've got a ghost for you.
Oh, you like otherworldly beings?
Me too. Check out all these aliens. We have plenty. How do you feel about a good legend?
Want to hear about spooky happenings?
Yeah, you do.
Let us show you what we've got.
Hey guys, grab a drink and join us, Amanda and Sean, every week while we dive into the strange and haunting topics that have piqued our interest.
See you over at The Haunted and the Strange, wherever you get your podcasts.
Stay spooky.
But, so, have you had any kind of like experience where you could attribute it to being an angel or just an overwhelmingly positive experience?
I I don't think so.
No.
I'll say things. Maybe one moment where I that might, like, a family friend was in a car accident, and they were getting, taken to the hospital. The cops said they checked out the vehicle. They had somebody check the vehicle. Everything was running fine. So I was just going to drive their car that was just in the accident back to their house, and bring it to their home for them. And the vehicle wasn't fine because at a downhill slant, I'm driving and I go to hit the brakes and the brake goes all the way to the ground. Like there's nothing in it for me to actually hit the brakes.
No.
And I go into a panic because as I'm driving down this hill, there's a truck making a turn. And I'm like, this guy doesn't know that I can't brake. So I'm just hitting and stepping on the brake. For some reason, nothing in my mind told me to grab the emergency brake to try that. But as I'm getting closer, something in my head is just like, go faster. Just go faster. Like, just step on the gas and go faster. So I step on the gas and I barely make it. As the truck is finishing its turn, I barely make it through this gap, and I go up into the dirt and just like kind of slow myself down in the desert right after that.
No shit.
Yeah. And that's probably the only time
that
I had something in my head say, do this and you'll survive.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That truck driver was probably like, what the fuck, this dickhead?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Not knowing. Did he go by you after you were stopped, or?
No, because he was going towards to go onto the freeway.
Oh, okay.
So I just cut him off, and then he just continued to go. But yeah, that was one thing I can just attribute to something telling me,
yeah,
hey, you need to do this. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know we talked about, the religious item and stuff. Are you religious? I feel like you might have said you were or you weren't earlier.
Yeah. I am, but not affiliated to a
church,
religion or any church, I do believe in God, Jesus. But I was baptized Catholic when I was younger, but I don't necessarily, I don't necessarily think like a Catholic. So I just for me, it's mainly, I have conversations with God, on my own. I'll just kind of pray, if I'm long drives or whatever, if nobody's answering a call for me to call anybody, I'll just talk to God, and that's it.
That's funny. When I drive, I just scream at myself. If I haven't, especially, so I drive 10 to 12 hours a day. Actually, today I started singing randomly. I just started singing a bunch of songs. Mainly songs that I listened to when I was a kid, and that I still remember the words from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Once in a while, if I hadn't actually spoke any words for a little bit, I'll just randomly and I don't I don't plan on doing it. It just the urge comes and I just go.
Yeah.
Okay. That was weird. Do you ever get in those kind of moments where you just feel like you have to yell or something? And I don't know why.
I have no idea why. Sometimes I'm just I'll even some reason sometimes too I'll yell, or I think I feel so trapped in the vehicle. I'll just start punching the seat next to me for no reason.
I do the same. I'll hold onto the wheel and I'll just go like this or something, rock it or something. That's funny. It's almost like it's an unnatural thing. We're not supposed to really be in there or something. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, especially when you're driving all day and then you get stuck in traffic,
for
you start
sure,
to go even extra crazy.
For sure. Sometimes I'll punch the ceiling. Actually, my knuckle hurts because I got mad in traffic, and I was just like, no, I want to get through. I just want to get this shit done, and I started punching the ceiling. Not like
when they're
out
not
of
going
rage. Well,
fast.
I guess it would be rage, but it's just like that.
More like frustration.
Yeah, had to exert some energy just to like make myself feel better.
Yeah, you can't take it out on the cars next to you. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although I do want to sometimes.
Oh, I'm with you there, man. All the time.
I got the like, because in the truck, like people just automatically assume you're going to be going slow in a truck for
Yeah.
some. They just have to be in front of a truck. So like when there's two lanes and it's coming into one, they'll like race to get by me. And the thing that I hate about that, like I don't mind them doing that, but when they race to get in front of me
And
and
then they
then
hit
they
the brakes?
literally have to turn right
Oh,
there. So
okay.
now I have to slow
Yeah.
down because you decided to fucking get in front of me. You know what I mean?
And they don't realize that you're in a heavier vehicle. Like it's a lot more. It takes a lot more for you to stop than for
Exactly.
than for them. Yeah.
I said, oh my God. And every time I'm just like, oh, get in front of me just to slow me down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the meanest I'll ever get is when I'm driving. I know like people are making me mad. That's the meanest I'll ever get.
Yeah. Do you get upset when you're in your personal car, or is it more when you're driving for work?
Mainly when I'm driving for work. I mean, sometimes in my personal car, but usually I have like my fiance with me.
Yeah.
Sometimes she'll hype me up because she's like, "Yeah, you idiot," you know.
And then that makes you feel better, right? And you're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, she got my back, you know, kind of
Yeah, I'm
like,
not an asshole. They're an asshole.
yeah.
But yeah, mainly while I'm driving for work. Yeah, because it's just all day from like 6 o'clock in the morning until like I'm driving home and I'm getting home at like 6, you know, and the sun's already down over here and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Sun goes down here right around 5:30 too. So
yeah, I think it was down at 5 over here. So
yeah, it's I get more. I feel I have more road rage at work than I do in my personal car. And I feel like because I don't want to be at work, which is
Yeah.
why I get so upset. But yeah, I don't. In my personal car, I don't really get any road rage. Like if somebody cuts me off, I'm just like, well, I have a brake, so I use it. And like I never like if I have to like slam on my brake, then I'll probably be a little irritated. But like if all it takes is just a little tap of the brake to slow down just a tiny bit for this person to catch up to speed,
yeah,
then that stuff doesn't bother me. But I've been I don't know if you're one of these people, but I've been in cars with friends or family members or just other people, and somebody will start pulling out in front of them, and it's almost like they speed up just so they can get mad at this person for pulling out. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And I'm just
Well,
like,
that's
you
why I don't like to
just
drive with other people.
shut up. Yeah,
I'm just like,
I
I'll
don't like
drive.
driving.
I'll do the driving. As much as I
Yeah.
don't like driving, I'll do the driving.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I used to not care. Like I used to prefer other people driving. Now I absolutely hate when other people drive.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think there are only like 2 people that I trust driving, or maybe just one, and that would be like my godfather, and that's it. Like I'm only okay with him like driving the car. Like
Oh, yeah.
anybody else, no.
Yeah. I think my dad is the only person, but even sometimes when I'm in the passenger seat, like I think another thing too is like the way other people park too. Like my dad, he took me to Walmart because he has a truck and I was trying to get a birthday present for my son, and I wanted to get him a mountain bike, and we went to Walmart to get the mountain bike, and he like parked in this like there's like a whole bunch of parking spaces, but he goes all the way down to the aisle where all the other cars are. And then
Yeah.
there's one section, and he pulls in, and he's so close to the other car, I can't get out. And I was like, why'd you
Yeah.
do that? And he's like, oh, okay. And then he pulls out, and then he goes into another parking spot, and then he like goes in a diagonal across to this other parking spot. And I'm like, what are you doing? I can just park somewhere,
Yeah.
somewhere clear that I can get out of,
Yeah.
Because I'll park like not as far as I can, but like I won't park
You don't have
where
any cars
there's
around you.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'll make sure I'm not pulling into a spot that has two cars on each side or in
Yeah.
front of me and stuff like that. But if there's cars around me when I come out, that's not a problem. Just I would prefer not to park around other cars. But if it's not that I can't or anything, I just don't want to.
Yeah.
And I don't mind
because you don't want to
walking
have
either.
that moment where you have to like barely open the door and hold it so you don't have to hit the other car next to you or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's annoying. So, have you had any other road issues? So you had the UFO on the road, and was there something else? No, I think it was just the UFO. Oh yeah, and then the brakes went out.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have
Have
any
you?
other like road one. The only one I would ever bring up, and it's just a funnier story,
Mm-hmm.
would be we were driving in Arizona. There's like this long stretch of road, probably like 30 minutes of nothing but desert before we got to where we lived. And my brother was like an insomniac. Like he just wouldn't sleep and he would fight it all the time until his body was like giving out and he was just like crashing out, Like he'd
Mm-hmm.
just do that every single time. And one time we were driving and he just like is falling asleep and then he shoots up and grabs the steering wheel. He goes, "Whoa, look out." And I'm like, "What are you doing? What was that about?" And he's like, "You didn't see that?" And I was like, "No." He's like, "There was a horse on fire just running across the street." And I was like, "What? A horse?" I was like, "I don't see a horse on fire. There are no horses. The only horses are out in the middle of the desert, the wild ones." I was like, "There's not a horse on fire in the middle of the street." He's like, "I swear I saw it. I swear I saw it." And I was like, "No." You were like half asleep, dude. Like your body was crashing. Then you try to make us crash.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
He
So
just
he saw the war horse. Just
yeah, I'd say
running in the desert.
fucking the desert is a strange place, man. The desert is a strange place. I want to spend more time in it, but I'm not going to be able to anytime soon, I don't think. But eventually.
Yeah, with a baby
someday.
coming? Yeah, no.
Yeah, especially with the baby coming.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I have to start all over. I mean, I say right now, but I'll be loving it once she's here, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. You have any kids?
No, just 2 cats.
Just 2 cats. Those are
Yeah.
kids, man.
Guess. They're bad.
All right. So did you are they yours or are they hers or did you get them together?
No, we got them together. Yeah, we got them together.
Oh, okay. How long have you guys been together?
I was almost gonna say too long, but that would get me in trouble.
Ooh.
Living together probably 5 years, maybe 4.
5 years.
Yeah, we met online, and then she came and lived in California for a short while. I went and lived in New York for a short while, and then we moved in the middle, Colorado.
Oh, nice. So you're not originally from Colorado?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. Born in
Are
California.
you originally from Arizona?
No, California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, then lived basically like middle school and high school years in Arizona, then moved back to California, and then lived in New York for like, I don't know, half a year, and then came out here.
Nice. What so out of all the places that you've lived, right? What would you say would be your favorite and why?
I just love Arizona. Like, even though it was hot as shit there, um, uh, that's where I love the like, especially the sunsets there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything beats the sunsets in Arizona. But I had like, the crazy UFO experiences
Yeah.
there. Especially the one leading us out into the middle of the desert. I used to break dance out there, so that's where I have those memories there too. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I just loved it out there. I think Arizona was just a beautiful state. But Colorado's been real cool. I hate the snow. Can't stand the snow. But Colorado's been good.
I like the snow during the first snow. After that, like it snows once, I'm like, oh, ooh, look, that's pretty. And then once it's been around long enough for like it to look like shit, like dirty, then I'm just like, all right, get rid of it. Go away.
Yeah. I think it would be fine if I didn't have to work in it, if I didn't have to like step and trudge through snow all the time. But the moment I see it, I'm just like, oh, it's going to be cold. I'm going to have to step through it. Like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't. Like, I know I was complaining that it was hot and I'm sick of the wasps, but I also hate the snow.
That's funny. I was talking to my kids about moving to Arizona when we went out there because I liked it too. There was this one town I think it was on the way to the West Rim. I want to say it was called Pasadena, maybe. I don't know. But it looked really cool. Like we went into the Walmart for something. I can't remember what the fuck. We stopped at the Walmart. I think we were getting a case of waters. And we went in and we came out and just like I was just like looking and I don't know the view like cuz it's flat the majority of it, but then like going towards the West Rim, like it kind of went up a little bit, like not a mountain range, but like I don't know, it was really kind of cool. And there was this woman with a fucking gun on her hip, and I thought that was fucking cool too. You know what I mean? And it was like a cow. She had a freaking revolver and like a leather freaking holster.
Yeah,
and I was just like, she looks like a cowboy.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the coolest fucking thing. Because, I mean, we carry guns up here too, but like I never see it. Like the only time I ever see it is when it's on me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was just, it was, I don't know. It was really, it was a nice experience. But,
I always say there's something magical about the desert.
Do what? There's always something magical about the desert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always something magical.
Yeah, there is something to it. I don't know if it's the sand or the colors or, or the colors of the sand, you know what I mean? But it was really nice. We went to like the Horseshoe Bend and stuff too while we were down there. And it's just, man, it was so pretty. And it's also like,
crazy,
I never see stuff like that either,
Yeah.
So, but also in the same experience of coming out of that Walmart, there was like this like crackhead family that seemed they were definitely living out of their car and they were playing football with their son. And I remember walking up and being like feeling bad for this little boy because you could see like they had Arizona plates. The guy's face was falling apart and the woman had sores all over her face. And I mean, they seemed like loving parents, but at the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyways, we were walking up and they were right next to our car and he's like, the father was like, you come awfully far from being from Maine or something like that. And I was like, yeah. I was like, we drove down to see the Grand Canyon. He goes, shit, I've lived here my entire life. I've never been to the Grand Canyon. And I was like, that's weird. That is weird.
I never saw it when I went there. When I
Really?
lived there, I didn't see it at all. Yeah.
Wow, that would have been like the first thing I did, I feel like. But that's
Yeah,
just
no.
me too. We did a zip line too at the West Rim because the Halusa Nation, the tribe
Yeah.
owns the west side of the canyon, and there's a zip line that goes over. That was pretty cool. But yeah,
There's a lot
so
of dope stuff to do.
yeah, there is for sure. So with all your experience, man, do you believe that there are demons?
Yeah, I would imagine so. I mean, I can't discount, my fiance's experience with being so afraid and seeing that there was
Yeah.
something ugly attached to whatever
Yeah,
this thing
because I
is.
wanted to
So,
ask, like, do you think that was a demon? Or maybe I did ask, but I can't remember. But do you think
yeah, it
the
could have been.
attachment to that was demonic?
It could have been. It also could have been, I don't know, it could be something trying to pretend it is,
Yeah, yeah,
The fact of the matter is that she was scared enough
yeah,
to, yeah. So I was just like, you know what? Whatever it is, it's getting locked away or getting rid of, whatever it takes.
yeah.
Yeah.
And for you, the scariest was that the paralysis, or have you
Yeah.
had an
Yeah. The
experience that was
paralysis.
scarier? Okay.
No, the paralysis is the scariest that it's gotten for me. Um, Fortunately,
Hopefully it doesn't happen again.
Yeah,
Um,
no.
so, so closing question that I like to ask everybody. Are you, with everything that you're doing, like right now, like, so if today was going to be your last day to look back on your life, would you say that you are finding fulfillment in everything that you're doing?
Well, yeah. Yeah. I always say, I had this question asked a while ago, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Pretty content to where my life is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I get to do this. I get to uh, be engaged to my fiance. Um, we have 2 stupid cats. What more could you ask for?
Right. Yeah, would you
I
guys
get to
have a
collect
date?
a whole lot of nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a lot of stuff that I would not collect. Um, but I'm happy that you find happiness in doing that. So,
Yeah.
do you guys have a date for being officially hitched yet, or no?
Yeah, we have everything. We were hoping, I think, like last year, but then like things happened with family or whatever. So we're just waiting for those things to clear up, and then we already have everything booked. We're just gonna go off to Vegas, get married by Elvis, and have it be quick and easy.
That's a that's a good way to go. That's a good way to go.
Yeah.
One of my friends, she said, if we're both still single and like 5 years from now, you want to go to Vegas and get married? I was like, sure, let's do it.
Yeah, it's the easiest way. It's cheapest.
Yeah, it is. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And then you don't have to like coordinate with everybody to witness because there's just going to be people there that are like, yep,
Yeah.
I saw that happen.
I think I even told family, I was like, hey, if you can make it, you can make it. If you can't, you can't. No big deal.
Oh, nice, nice. That'd be cool too, though, just to like your closest friends and stuff. Like you're like
Yeah.
almost kind of like a hangover or whatever, where when he marries the stripper and
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's just his
Yeah.
best friend standing there, you know?
Yeah. That's what
So
we were just talking about that yesterday. We were like, yeah, we'll just do like a handful of like just closest people, and then that's it.
nice, man. I like that. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. I wish I would have thought about that the first time around, but we also didn't spend a whole lot. I think it was just $180.
Okay.
And we did it on the beach. So, and it was just my dad and my mom and a couple of my siblings.
Yeah.
So, and then my kids. But But yeah, we got married, and then it lasted 3 years. We were together for like 6 years, and then we got married, and then the marriage was just like, I think we fucked up.
Yeah.
We should have just stayed not married, and it might have worked out. And things were fine back then.
Yeah.
But anyways, man, if you don't mind letting everybody know one last time who you are, and where they can find you.
Yeah. Again, I am Oscar of Induced Fear Podcast, where we just talk about all the paranormal. We do investigations here in Colorado. You can find us on Instagram at Induced Fear Podcast, YouTube Induced Fear, TikTok Induced Fear, Facebook the same shit, Induced Fear. You can send emails to inducedfearpod@gmail.com. That's where people can send in their own personal stories if they don't want to come on the show, or if they do want to come on the show. But yeah, they can contact me on any one of those and follow me there. Yeah.
Nice. Perfect. Well, everybody, go check out Oscar and everything that he's doing. Show him some love. Obviously, if you listen to this whole episode, you can clearly tell that he's a good person. That's the vibe that I get anyway, unless he's like really disguising his assholeness really well, which can happen, I believe. But no, anyway, so that is the show. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a rating and a review. I'd appreciate it. But most of all, so the website is up. It's wheretheweirdonesarepodcast.com. You can leave a rating and a review right on the website for the show, if you're interested in doing that anyway. The Patreon is up. There's a chat room on the website. You got to be a Patreon member to get the password to the chat room. So trying to create like a little bit of a community. I'm probably only going to be in that chat room for like an hour a day because I already got so much other stuff to do. So Discord I can't figure out, so I can't really get like a community going on that. So other than that, like I said, like, share, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I hope you guys have a blessed motherfucking day. But question everything and stay weird.
Yeah.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.
Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky. When the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day, make a wish.